Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So yes, we are back up here in the playoffs. We just came off our best season yet with 109 wins in only 53 losses. The only problem is we're going to be taking on the Houston Astros in the ALDS because that team was the best pitching team in baseball this season. We were the third best pitching team, and they were the second best team in the entire league in terms of win-loss ratio as well. They had 103 wins, so this could be a really heavyweight matchup, and I think whoever comes out of this series will win the World Series. So hopefully it's us, because obviously we've been to 3 straight ALCSs before this. I really hope we can make it back there again, and then hopefully once we get there, we could take out either the White Sox or the Cleveland Guardians. So let me quickly show you guys what we're going up against kind of in the Astros. You can see they were 103 and 59. We were 109 and 53. And yeah, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They won a lot of games against us this season, I'm pretty certain. So we might have ourselves a very tough time. But basically, at the moment, we are technically better at contact than they are. They are better at power than us, but they do have one guy that's really good power-wise, so I don't know if that's why. We are better pitching-wise. We're better defensively, apparently. And also, we're better speed-wise. So, I hope that we can beat them. But honestly, I have no idea if we're going to be able to, because the pitching rotation is pretty gross. I actually still got to adjust our lineup because I am recording this right after the last episode. So, let me actually quickly go ahead and do this before I end up forgetting. So, what do we need still in our lineup? We need second baseman? No, third baseman. Yeah, that's right. Because Michael Chu got called back up. So there is that. We'll keep the lineup the way it looks right now, and we'll make some adjustments if we absolutely need to. But I am very much hoping for a good playoff run this year, because if we do not, it is going to look like a major downfall again, and this team might not have a huge window to win in. So we definitely want to win when we can. But this is what we're going up against. You can see pitching-wise, Medina nearly won the Cy Young. Santo is a really good pitcher as well. Both of them went through 9 innings in the wild card. And then they also have Cabrera. They have former pitcher of ours, William Montero, who kind of struggled. So hopefully we can win games against him. And Nick Walker. In terms of their batting, it's not as scary as their pitching rotation. But they might not need to turn to their offense as much because of that pitching. So the one guy I'm mostly scared of is like Tom Koo. And I think it was not the DH. Who was it? Oh, it was Diaz, because he's got crazy power against righties. So I'm hoping that since we have 3 right-handed pitchers in a rotation, that he doesn't get a lot of home runs off of them, especially considering 2 of the 3 are our best pitchers on the team. So there is that, and let's get into Game 1 against Houston. Let's waste no time, because this might be a long episode if it goes all 5 games, which I am kind of expecting it might. So let's get into Game 1 on home field and see if we could take a game against a very good pitching team. We have 1 pitcher over the limit. God damn, man. Of course, there has to be a problem before we start the playoffs. We need to send somebody down. That is going to be... Let me actually see all players on our MLB roster here. Who is our worst pitcher? Damon Rangel got called up. Oh, I didn't even realize he got called up. Remove him from the playoff roster. Oh, I'll call up Halpern, I guess, from the minors. So that's why, not Halpern, Brad Thornton. Why Brad Thornton I couldn't add. So we'll add Brad Thornton, and we will send down Damon Rangel. Because Rangel wasn't even supposed to be up here anyways in the beginning. So there we go. We are good to go. Now we can get into Game 1 and see if Garth Howe could win against Santo. We need Garth Howe to do what he can, because he won the Cy Young this year. He won the MVP this year in the AL, which kind of caught me by surprise, because I was thinking Sixto would win it. But Garth Howe is the man. Can he get us a 1-0 series lead? Last year he was fantastic in the playoffs in terms of pitching, so I'm going to lean on him heavily. And then hopefully guys like Silva, Osuna, Gomez bring what they did in the regular season. Bobby Hyde was moved back to reliever at the end of the season, so we'll see if Bobby's back in his element, and Sparbory could be good in that 5 spot. So there we go. Let's get going with some playoff baseball and see what happens. Try and get through these innings as fast as possible. Oh my goodness. Well, that might be good for us, because maybe we'll come back. But Luke hits a solo home run on the second batter of the game, or at the second bat of the game. Not good at start for Garth. And another solo home run. Yeah, we're going to come back in this game, don't worry. I know how this game's scripted. Back-to-back home runs given up by Garth. He's off to a very, very bad start. And then he gives up a double. Not good start for Garth Howell after winning the MVP. And there he gets the other guys out. Okay. Let's see if we can get something going of our own. Trevino gets on base right away. Can he steal second? Yes, he can. Can Bill bring him in? No. Can Sixto? Yes, he can. It's 2-1. Yeah, this might be an offensive game, but I'm kind of surprised that they were able to score that much against us already. And now we already scored a run against one of their better pitchers. This might be more offensively driven than I thought. Steiner flies out. Ozzy also grounds out. We're up down 2-1 after the first inning. Single there. Yeah, not a good start for Garth. He needs to get going here. There we go. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Starting to wake up a bit, it seems like. Might have gotten out of bed a little bit late or something. Pinheiro strikes out. Josh Groves grounds out. And Pineda, the solo shot to tie the game. Let's go, Pineda. That's what we want from you. You are our power guy, pretty much. Him and who else was it that was good power-wise? There's a few guys. I know, obviously, Sixto is, but there was another guy, too. Michael Chu walks. Can he get over to second if Trevino is able to get him in? No. Okay, still 2-2, though. That's good. And a solo shot by Koo. That's his second home run of the night. I told you Tom Koo was a little bit scary. But yeah, Garth is having a tough time here in Game 1. At least the game is still close, though. And there we go. Gets out of that. Bill O'Donnell hits a solo home run. What is happening? There's literally been like 5 home runs combined in this game already. At least it's a bunch of solo shots, but this game is tied again. Was not expecting this type of offense, to be honest. I was expecting more of a pitching duel. Sixto got off and Cardenas got on. Okay, can Pinheiro do something? Yes! Okay, Pinheiro. 2-run shot for Pinheiro. We have taken a 5-3 lead. We're playing good against Santo. I like it. There's a single from Groves. Can he steal second? Yes, he can. Can Pineda get something going? He had a home run last at bat. He brings in another run at 6-3. This is a crazy offensive game to start. If Garth Howell could find himself, that would be great, though. Because I don't want him just to give up so much. There we go. That's a good inning. Much better than the previous ones. Trevino strikes out. O'Donnell walks. Can he steal? Yes, he can. Sixto. Pitching change over to the reliever already. And we're only in the 4th inning. So their starter has been yanked, which might be good for us. It might not be. Sixto grounds out. Steiner flies out. We'll keep Garth in a little bit longer. Maybe 1 or 2 more innings. He gives up a walk there. Let's try and pick that guy. Can't get him. Single there. Oh my. Let's try and pick off first again. There's a strikeout. That's huge. Can we get the double play potentially? No, we get another strikeout. Can Garth get out of this situation? Yes, he can. Let's go, Garth. That's huge. There is a veteran pitcher if I ever saw one. Cardenas gets on base. Pinheiro strikes out. Josh Groves hits into a double play. And now we're into probably Garth's last inning of this first game here. Let's try and get you out. Single there. Oh, he's getting a bit tired. Let's just go ahead and try and get these guys out. Fly out there. That's good. And fly out there. And we're still up 6-3. Good effort, I'd say, from Garth after the early runs allowed. And good work from our offense to at least keep us winning this game. Okay, pitching change. Who do we want to bring in? Let's go for Bobby. See if he's better than last year's playoffs because he kind of struggled last year. Ground out. Nice. Fly out. And solo shot to make it 6-4. A lot of home runs in this game, which is not ideal. And a strikeout there. Bill O'Donnell singles. Steals second. Sixto flies out. Steiner singles. Bill's in a scoring position. Can Ozzy bring him in? Hits into a fielder's choice. Damn it. Can Pinheiro bring in Bill? No, he cannot. We'll go 1 more inning with Bobby, maybe? Yeah, 1 more inning with Bobby should be fine. Pop up. Strikeout. And ground out. We still have the lead. That's huge. A walk there for Groves. He steals second. Pineda flies out. Chu pops up, and Trevino pops up. We are going into the last inning, looking to close out this game. Even though Dennis Lake kind of struggled in the early going into the season, will he close out this game? Strike out there, strike out there, and strike out there. He strikes out the last three guys, and we win game 1 6-4. That's a good showing against a very good pitching team. Bill O'Donnell, the player of the game, going 2 for 3 with a home run, a run, an RBI, 2 stolen bases, and a walk. Yeah, that's a good showing against a defensive team, I should say, or a pitching team. So I like that performance quite a bit. Let's keep it rolling. Don't want this episode being an hour long potentially, so let's get into game 2. Gonna keep the lineup the same, and let's see what we could do against the guy that almost won the Cy Young in Medina. Hopefully we have a good showing here. Or hopefully Medina doesn't kind of do what he did in the regular season at least against us. That would not be great. So Pablo Silva starts game 2. Osuna will get game 3. And that is good. Let's see what happens here. A single given up early again. Not ideal. Fly out there, strike out there, and strike out there. Good answer after giving up the early hit. Trevino strikes out. Bill grounds out. Sixto singles. Can Steiner bring him in? No. Richards up the bat for them. Flies out. Strikeout there. And a strikeout there. So far, so good. Much different game than last game. Ozzy grounds out. Pinero flies out. Josh Groves walks. Can he steal second? He can. Can Pineda bring him in? No. Yeah, this one's a pitching duel. It's kind of the complete opposite of last game. This is exactly how I pictured the series, but last game was crazy. Double play. Nicely done, Silva. Ground out. Michael Chu walks. Trevino strikes out. Bill strikes out. And Sixto singles as well. We got 2 men on base for the first time, I think, in this game with 2 outs. Can Steiner bring in a run? No. Silva gives the first guy a fly out, a strikeout, and a strikeout. So far, so good from Silva. He's been great. Ozzy strikes out. Pinero singles. Can he steal second? Yes, he can. Can Groves bring him in? No. Can Pineda bring him in? No. Yeah, this is definitely how I pictured last game. Ground out, and fly out. This might end up being a battle of the bullpens if both guys get too tired, though. But Medina doesn't seem like he's tiring that fast. Chu grounds out. Trevino solo shot to make it 1-0. Let's go, Trevino. Hopefully that sparks our offense now. Bill strikes out. Sixto grounds out. And we're up 1-0 going into the 6th inning. Cole Young strikeout. Randolph grounds out. Trulio grounds out. We're still up 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th now. Steiner solo shot to make it 2-0. Only a couple miscues so far from Medina, but both resulted in home runs. We're up 2-0. Let's go. Ozzy walks. George Pinero hits into a double play. That's not great. And Josh Groves grounds out. It reaches on an error for Aaron Luke. Strikeout there. Fly out there. And a strikeout there. Damn. Silva is having a great game. He is dealing. And in comes their reliever now. So that might be good for us. Antoine Green will come in. Chu up to bat, grounds out. Trevino flies out. We're still up 2-0 going into the 8th. I am going to make a pitching change even though Silva's been great. I just don't want him to get too tired and all of a sudden give up some costly hits. So I'm going to bring in Jack Birch, who is great in the regular season. Ground out there, pop up there, and ground out there. We're still up 2-0. Bill O'Donnell up now. And they make a pitching change over to Harvey Abe. Bill flies out. Sixto singles. Can he steal second? He gets caught. Steiner singles. I could try and steal since we're at 2 outs. Might as well. And he steals. Can Ozzy bring him in? Yes, he can. It makes it 3-0. That's a huge hit there. Let's go. Pinero pops up. And we're headed into the 9th. Looking to close this one out. Dennis Lake back up again. We've only given up 1 hit in this game. Can we get the shutout? Double living up. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me, Dennis? Don't go back to this way again, man. Trulio strikes out. That's a huge strikeout there. Aaron Luke flies out. We're down to their last out. We've only given up 2 hits in this game. One of them from Dennis, the other one from Silva. Can we get the shutout? Yes, we can. We win 3-0 in Game 2. Pablo Silva goes 7 innings, giving up only 1 hit and no runs allowed, 9 strikeouts, and only 1 walk issued. Fantastic. And we're up 2-0 on Houston, and we survived 2 of their best pitchers. See, it helps when you have good pitching, because the last few years we've had struggles with our pitching in the playoffs, but this year so far, we've had really good results for the most part. I mean, Garth was kind of in Game 1, but Silva was a very good second guy to go to. Now we have a chance to close out the series in Houston. White Sox and Cleveland are tied at 1 right now. Can we sweep the Houston Astros and move to the ALCS? This episode's only like 16 minutes in, and I'm already at this point, which is kind of crazy. I know I'm trying to rush through this in a way, but at the same time, it's more just because I don't want episodes being like an hour long for you guys, because it just takes way too much time. But can we get to the ALCS again and knock out the second best team in baseball? We're in a good spot right now, but we got to win here in Houston, which will make it a bit tougher probably. And we turn to a left-hander in this game, and we'll see if the left-handers can get going as well. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Fly out, and ground out. Not a great start for offense, but that's okay. And a good matchup, though, from our pitching. I like it. And, of course, my batteries are low. Steiner strikes out. Ozzie flies out. Pinheiro, solo shot. That's his second home. Actually, yeah, it is his second home run of the playoffs, I think, already. And we're up 1-0 here early on. Let's go. Groves hits a double right afterwards. Can Pineda bring him in? No, he can't. Fly out there, ground out there, and pop up there. Liking it so far. Let's go. Michael Chu has not hit so far in this game, or in this series, so that's a little bit costly, but we might have to replace him at some point. Grounds out there. Trevino hits a double. Can Bill bring him in? No, he gets walked. 2 guys on base, 1 out. Can Sixto do some damage here? No, he can't. Can Steiner do some damage? He gets walked. We have bases loaded with 2 outs for Ozzie Cardenas. Does Ozzie have some playoff heroics in him to make it a like 2-0 lead or 3-0 lead? No. That kind of sucks, but oh well. Strike out there, single there to try to pick you off. To Barnes, sack bunt, but he's out still, and Winston flies out. I'm liking our pitching so far. Pinheiro hits a solo shot, and that makes it 2-0. That's his second home run of the game, I think. I think he was the one that scored the first home run, right? Because I always get him and Pineda completely confused, because they're both pins, but... Josh Groves strikes out. Pineda hits a solo shot, so there's at least one for Pineda, too. So Pinheiro and Pineda getting it done. We're up 3-0. And their starter might get yanked soon, too, which is huge for us. A double there for Michael Chu, his first hit of the series. Trevino flies out, and Bill hits a ground out. So far, so good. There's another good inning from pitching as well. Sixto grounds out. Steiner strikes out. Ozzie walks. George Pinheiro singles. Pinheiro is 3 for 3 in the game. He's been great. Can Groves bring any of these guys in? No. Scott flies out. Kennedy strikes out. And this guy doubles. We'll try and pick him off. Kevin Richards, strike out. Let's go. Cabrera might be coming out here in this inning. And he does come out. In comes Antoine Green again, who pitched 1 inning in the last game. Can Pineda get something going? Yes, he can. He gets a double. We're at a double with no outs. Can Chu bring in Pineda? No. Can Trevino? No, he gets walked. Can Bill bring in a run? No. Can Sixto? No. And we're still up 3-0 going into the bottom of the 6th. With the hits 8-2. Our offense has been also the difference in the series because we're very consistent offensively, it seems like. Ground out there. Winston strike out. And Luke grounds out. We're headed into the 7th with our lead still intact. Steiner up. They make another pitching change over to Harvey Abe again, who was in briefly last game. Steiner flies out. Cardenas hit by pitch. Can Pinheiro do something? No. Josh Groves brings in a run, and he gets a triple. It's 4-0. That's a huge one scored there. That gives us more insurance, at least late in the stage of this game. Can Pineda bring him in? No. Tom Koo up for them. Doubles. He's been probably their best player on the offensive front. Diaz flies out. Scott strikes out, and Kennedy strikes out. We are still up 4-0 going into the 8th inning. Michael Chu can't get anything going because they make a pitching change. Hernandez. We've never seen him so far fly out there. Trevino doubles. Can Bill bring him in? No. Can Sixto bring him in? No. And we're into the bottom of the 8th, up 4-0 with the hits 10-3. We issue a walk to start it off. Not great. Osuna still has a lot of energy, so I'm going to hold on to him for now. Line out, fly out, and ground out. We have the lead going into the last inning. We might pull off the sweep against the second best team in baseball, which is kind of nuts. Was not really expecting us to sweep them. I thought it was going to go to a Game 5. Steiner walks. Ozzie walks. 2 men on base with no outs for George Pinheiro. Pinheiro brings in a run. He's 4 for 5 tonight, and it's a 5-0 game. Josh Groves hits into a double play, but Ozzie gets to third because of that. Can Pineda bring him in? No. And we're into the bottom of the 9th. I could let Osuna play the rest of this game and maybe get him a complete game shutout. So I'm going to keep him in for now. He's got the energy. Might as well. First guy doubles, of course. Koo brings a single. Oh, boy. I think his shutout is going to be ruined, at least. That's okay. This is just a shutout. Strikeout. There's a double play scenario. Can Osuna get a double play to get out of this game and not give up a run? No. They get a sac fly to make it a 5-1 game. We'll make the pitching change and just get the closer in here. We'll actually put in Luis Guzman instead. Fielder's choice, and that's the game. We win 5-1. And we sweep the Houston Astros, who are the second best team in baseball. George Pinheiro, the player of the game, going 4 for 5 with 3 runs, 2 home runs, and a 3 RBI game. Let's go. I was not expecting us to sweep them, to be honest. Since they're the second best team in baseball and their pitching was number 1, I literally thought they would be able to easily beat us, but we are now the best team left. Pittsburgh might get knocked out by Cincinnati, and in Miami's also going to a Game 5 scenario with San Fran, while Cleveland's up 2-1 on the White Sox. This might be our year, guys. It might be. Let's take a look at our player stats through that first round, and then we'll see who we're going up in round 2. See, Garth Howe kind of struggled, but he found himself after the early runs he allowed, so solid enough, I'd say, from him. But Pablo Silva and Carmen Osuna, that is exactly what I wanted from these guys. Absolutely fantastic. We didn't even have to turn to Sammy Gomez yet. And then Sparbori probably won't get to play much, but we might have a 4-headed monster here with Howe, Silva, Osuna, and Gomez, which is awesome. And then we also have the relievers in case we need those guys. Batting-wise, Trevino had a very solid first round, 308 average. Bill was kind of bad, but that's okay. Sixto was good. Steiner was great, too. Cardenas was okay. Pinheiro was fantastic. Really good. Josh Groves was good too. Same with Pineda. And Chu was not great. So our offense, mostly good. Mostly good. And we didn't even have to turn to the guys on the bench yet. Who are we going to be playing in the ALCS? This is our fourth straight ALCS. First 2 years it was the White Sox. Yeah, it was the White Sox. Last year was the Red Sox, and then the Red Sox won the World Series. This year, it will be the Cleveland Guardians, who we've never played before. So it's a matchup 1 versus 2 to see who ends up going to the World Series. And then Pittsburgh and Miami managed to survive a Game 5 scenario. So it's 1 versus 2 in the East and in the West, pretty much. Or in the AL, I should say, in the NL. Interesting. Let's take a look at what the Guardians are working with, because I honestly have not seen their team at all at this point. John Williams. I don't like this pitching that much. We might have a really good chance because their pitching's not that great. John Williams had a really rough time in his first game. Quinn Priester is pretty good, though. based on that. Darren Clifton, pretty solid as well from this guy. So these two are really good. John Williams, not so much. Moses Stevenson, pretty solid. And they have not went to Velez yet. I'm not a fan of their bullpen overall wise. They have Smith, they have Watts, who was not great. Valentine, who walked a bunch of people. Lincoln, who was not great. Yeah, their pitching's not ideal, which means we might have a very big upper hand because we're a good pitching team. So there's that. Let's take a look at their lineup, though. It must be a lot better, though. Must be good. No. This is kind of a cheese team, almost in a way. Lost 70 overall, guys. So I have Dave Gamble, Alexius Urbina, Theo Finnegan. I also have Graham Munoz, or Munoz, I think it's pronounced, Alfonso Hernandez, David Diaz, who's really solid actually in terms of batting average, at least recently, Reynel Delgado, Greg Hurst, and Ernesto Monoso. I think I drafted this guy. I gotta double check now since we're not late into this episode. I think I drafted that guy because I have looked recently at my draft thing. So let me look at my old draft picks of the series. I think Ernesto Monoso was one of our picks that we let go and we didn't sign him, if I remember right. Yes, he is. He was a third-round pick, 75th overall in year 4. So the same year we drafted Gary McAllister, Luis Guzman, and Michael Chu. And Josh Groves was also the latest pick we had in that draft that actually signed with us. So, Ernesto Monoso, good to see you again, my man. But you didn't really develop into being much. But still kind of funny to see a former player here at this stage. Also Jay Allen, Dave Griggs, DeAndre Halbrick, Ryan Bliss. To be honest, I think we have a way better looking team. I don't know how they finished as good as they did in terms of like making the playoffs. They were 85 and 77, but they had the 27th rank. We should be able to easily beat them and go to our first World Series. But Miami and Pittsburgh are going to be both two tough teams, I'd say. So there is that. I also did actually want to take a look at team rankings in the playoffs so far. Are they up there in anything? They're up there in runs. They have actually scored more runs than us, but we've played way less games, so that's where that comes into effect here in the playoffs. But yeah, the Marlins, I think, are going to be a tough team if we have to face them in the World Series, or the Pirates. Because I think, honestly, at this rate, we're almost guaranteed to go there. If we lose, we honestly got cheesed out of this, so we're the best team ERA-wise in the playoffs. We could do this. If our pitching holds the fort, we could do this. I believe in our team. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the ALCS against the Cleveland Guardians as we look to punch our ticket to our first World Series. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.